Monday through Friday, 6 until 9, throughout the great state of Michigan, and streaming live on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. Just so you're aware, the Lions and Cowboys play tomorrow. Oh, that's right. You already know that. Okay. We want you to go. So does Ferris Coffee and Meyer. They've teamed up to have two tickets for you. In order for you to be eligible, all you got to do is text 21,000. Text Ferris to 21,000. FERRIS. We will announce the winner tomorrow here on the Michigan Sports Network. Bill Simon, a friend, will be in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, a little later on, broadcasting live from the ABC warehouse. We'll be joining him in the 5 o'clock hour later on. MSU's 7th-ranked basketball team. Nice win from last night. Blowout Iowa 71-52. Really wasn't much of a game when Michigan – it was slightly close until Michigan – like it was 9-9. Michigan State went on a 17-1 run. There was a 13-0 run within that 17-1 run overall, and they pulled away. Cohen Carr had 15. Jackson Kohler has had a hell of a year so far. I mean, just a really strong season. That's another double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds. State's now 8-0. They've racked up 3 wins against ranked teams. They beat an unbeaten Hawkeyes team, and they get Duke up next at Breslin Center, which I think is fantastic. You need to see more of that in college basketball. I get why we want to see that in college football too. I do. Who wouldn't? Wouldn't you love to see, pick a Southern school, Georgia, Florida State, Miami, I don't care, Alabama, Tennessee. Wouldn't you love to see them in Big Ten country when it gets a little nippier? November. I would. I've always said that. You do a home and home. It's harder in football. We get that because you only have 12 games. In basketball, you're able to help the little guy. Michigan State has played UAD. Michigan State has played Oakland University, right? You play some of these weaker teams to give them the paydays they need and deserve. But you also have a chance to play some of the really big teams, the marquee matchups that get recruits all excited, and for good reason. They played Kentucky, they played Arkansas, they played North Carolina. Now they're playing Duke. That's what you need. Michigan's going to play Villanova. Those are the things you need too. That's what I love about the college basketball schedule. I get that college football can't do that because of the number of games, but you'd like to see it, wouldn't you? For sure. I would rather see, if your favorite team is MSU, play 3 non-conference, play 2 non-conference games against weaker opponents before the Big Ten season hits. Then later in that season, just like the SEC does. Well, SEC is playing Bryant for crying out loud the week before Thanksgiving to give their team a bit of a rest. Maybe you play an SEC team or a Big 12 team. Something along those lines. Maybe an ACC team. Wouldn't it be great to see Clemson every once in a while? Sparta Stadium or the Big House. Yes. And then you do the same thing going the other way, right? You get those 2 teams out of the way at the beginning of the year against lesser than teams that need the payday. Come to your house. You pay them good money. You use them as practice dummies for the most part. And then later on in the season, that third and final non-conference game is a big one against a big conference. Now, I get it. The timing matters, right? You be part of the college football playoff. Would people risk that? I understand all that. But that's what fans truly want, and that would be really good football for television. I'm an athletic director. I don't know if I necessarily do that. I probably schedule it at the beginning of the year because we all know time and place. In order to get your team into the playoffs, you want to make sure you're at the end of the year, right? You are really hitting your stride at the end of the season. Red Wings snapped their 4-game winless streak. Finally, I mean, thankfully, you're waiting for this team. They've looked so good at times. They have. And yet they've looked really weak at other times. Now, you didn't like the 2 goals in the third, but they're able to snap the slide with a 5-4 win over Boston. A couple of guys really stood out. Alex DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond, each had one assist. Mo Sider had a 3-point night. Other goal scorers were Ben Sherrod, James Van Riemsdyk. He's been better, I think, than everybody expected. This guy's on a one-year, $1 million deal, and he's got 4 goals in limited time, so good for him. Detroit, by the way, did chase Jeremy Swayman early in the first time that he's been pulled all season long. So it was a much-needed win for Detroit. Good for them. The physicality the Boston plays with, Detroit has to match. I was texting a friend of mine last night, and I get that fighting is not the be-all, end-all. Who's the most physical player on the Red Wings? I'm not looking for a reincarnation of Joe Kosar, Bob Prover, Darren McCarty. I'm talking about a guy who plays with a physical energy, who will take the body. You just don't see many of them. I suppose you could, immediately my mind goes to defensemen in the past. And look, the greatest defenseman of all time, at least in my mind, is Nick Lidstrom. It's not like he was super physical. But you did have other guys on his teams who were physical. You don't have to be physical to be great or effective. But it helps in this sport to be able to have somebody who can go out there and match an opposing team's physicality. Takes a lot out of you. It's what the Red Wings have been missing for a while now, and I still don't think they have it. Again, not a guy who just wants to drop the gloves and throw knuckle sandwiches. I'm just talking about guys who can go out there and use the body on a forecheck, rough a guy up, protect a teammate. You just don't have that. Pistons are back to work tonight. They got a road jump in Milwaukee. Detroit is 9-11. Bucks have dropped 8-10. 6 of their 9 wins coming home. Here's the beauty of what the Pistons are doing right now. They boast the Eastern Conference Player of the Month and the Coach of the Month. Cade Cunningham earned the player honor by averaging 29 points, 9 assists, 6.5 boards per game. JB Bickerstaff wins Coach of the Month for the second time in his Pistons tenure. He's got his team off to a conference best 17-4 record. Remember, they had the franchise high 13-game winning streak. Really cool for them because they have no longer been just a nice story. They have become a team to be reckoned with, and I think everybody is starting to look and notice. Look, when you get off to a quick start, 7-0, whatever, people are like, "Oh, that's cool." But at some point in a season, everybody in the league and who covers the league takes note and says, "You know what? Actually, that team's for real. It wasn't just a cute little run from them. That team is for real." The Pistons have hit that spot. I don't know when it takes root for everybody, but most people after 21 games looks at how they're playing and how they're winning. They didn't have a great win the other night. It was an ugly win, quite honestly, but they won. That's what matters. Again, the poll question, Michelin's poll question, is Thursday night's game a must-win for the Lions? And by the way, we want to send you there, okay? We want to send you there, courtesy of Ferris and Meyer. Just text Ferris for 21,000. And you'll be eligible to win a pair of tickets to see the Lions and the Cowboys. But it's Thursday night's game. A must-win for the Lions, yes or no. Again, vote as often as you like at XP Mornings, at Shepard. We'll get you the results tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour. In the 7 o'clock hour, a guy who's helped us secure those tickets is going to join us. Landon Melling, a retail development member of the Ferris Coffee and Nut Company, will join us to talk about the promotion and talk to a little football and talk about what's going on with Ferris and their partnership with Meyer and a whole lot more. So you can stick with us on that for sure. Phone number in the Meyer hotline, 866-838-4843. Our text line is Sports Radio 21,000. When we come back, a little bit from the Pat Fitzgerald press conference, why we think he won it, and perhaps one of his most important answers. One of the most important answers, because it has to do with the emotional part of what Michigan State football fans are looking for. We'll get that when we come back on X's and Bros on a Wednesday morning on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here with a message to all of you Lions fans. My good friend Josh Garvey, who runs Doran Mayhew's Grand Rapids office, will join me every Thursday with former Lion Lomas Brown, and we'll go inside the Lions each and every week, all the way through the Super Bowl. Doran Mayhew is proud to partner with the Huge Show, and we're proud to have a guy like Josh Garvey join us in studio every week. If you have a Lions question or comment, you can drop them at Huge Show on Twitter, The Huge Show on Facebook. Doran Mayhew, proud to be a part of the West Michigan community and across the entire state with their corporate worldwide headquarters in Troy, Michigan. So make plans every Thursday, 5 p.m. It's Josh Garvey, who is the managing shareholder at Doran Mayhew's GR office, with Lomas Brown on the Huge Show, going inside the Lions every Thursday at 5 p.m.
X's and BrO's and our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer want to send you to the Lions game Thursday night at Ford Field. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Shepard, host of X's and BrO's Monday through Friday. I'll be at the Meyer location in Rivertown Market in downtown Detroit from noon until 1 Thursday, and I'll announce the winner. You can qualify by texting Ferris to 21,000. That's Ferris to 21,000, and you could be going to the Lions and Cowboys game Thursday night. Good luck, and go Lions.
Thanks for listening to X's and BrO's with Matt Shepard on the Michigan Sports Network. You want to talk to Shep? Call us at 866-838-4843.
every game is going to be a focus of victory and winning. But there's one game that just means a little bit more, doesn't it? I'll just leave that one alone. So to the Spartan fans, the alumni, your passion is unmatched. I'm excited to earn your trust, to energize our program, and to build a team that you'll be proud of to support every Saturday. I'm humbled for the opportunity. I'm fired up for the challenge, and I'm ready to get to work. It's just a great day to be a Spartan.
That's Pat Fitzgerald at his press conference yesterday, and then said, of course, go green, which was really important, I think. I think there was somebody I was listening to or talking to the other day, and they said they can't remember. I don't know if this was Mitch Lyons or not. But they said,
you mentioned he couldn't remember when Jonathan Smith ever said that in a presser.
Yes. And what about you? So you're a Spartan grad. You're a proud Spartan grad. You wear green and white almost on a regular basis if you're not wearing a Lions jersey. I want your initial thought when it was announced he was the hire, and then I want your thought on the press conference yesterday. I assume you watched it. It was well done. Band played the fight song, which was really cool. Had to abruptly stop it. Then Jay Batt gets up and he makes the announcement. I thought he handled himself exceptionally well, especially when he was talking about Jonathan Smith. It showed compassion. All right. This can be a cold, cutthroat business. And I thought what Michigan State's leadership, both with the athletic director, Jay Batt, and the school president, Kevin Guskowitz, how they handled the Jonathan Smith thing was really well done. Thanking him, understanding of the difficulty, all those things. And it shows you the class of Jonathan Smith. If indeed he did help Pat Fitzgerald with some of the conversation, if indeed he did that, then kudos to him. You know, sometimes things just don't work out, folks. Doesn't mean that the person who it didn't work out for is a bad person or bad at what they do. Jonathan Smith can still coach. He just didn't fit at Michigan State University. That's okay. Does he deserve another shot? I believe he does. Where will that be? I don't know. He'll get another job somewhere. And he should. It just didn't work out at MSU. It wasn't the right fit. Whose fault is that? There's a lot of people you can blame for that. All right. In a different era, under different circumstances, Jonathan Smith would still be the head coach at Michigan State. If it weren't for NIL and certain things, he still might be the head football coach. But because of a lack of inspiration to donors and certain members of the fan base, it just wasn't going to work out. Pat Fitzgerald, I know sometimes people will roll their eyes at this statement. Pat Fitzgerald is more of a Michigan State type coach. And if you think about it, you know, he's a no-nonsense guy. Like, he wore the suit and tie. It's really not who he is. What he wore at the basketball game is more who he is.
The Mike Vrabel look?
Yes. Good. That's really good. That's who he is. Now, I know not everybody appreciates that or likes that. That's okay. I'm not asking you to. I like those coaches. I like the coaches who hold you accountable. I like the coaches who aren't afraid to speak their mind. I like the coaches who look you in the eye and say, you screwed up. You better be better. Those are the types of football coaches and coaches in general I think you need. I don't need to be impressed with somebody's sideline demeanor. I need to be impressed with their organization, their communication skills, their expectations, how they hold people to those expectations, their coaching staff. What type of staff are you putting together to make sure you're going to compete with the best in the Big Ten? Not in the Big Ten. There's a lot of coaches who can compete in the Big Ten. I want to know the staff you're bringing in to compete against the best teams in the Big Ten. That's what they're striving for. At least that's what they say. They're telling us that this is a top 10 athletic department, not a top 10 in the Big Ten. It's a top 10 athletic department. I love this. You know why? I've texted some Spartan friends of mine who've asked me what I think of the hire. I said, here's what Michigan State has done for too long. Oh, we're fine with, not that they've said this out loud, but I mean the mindset, middle of the pack. Screw that. If you have lofty goals, go ahead and share them. You should expect more. It's almost like a Tigers feel. It's almost like a Red Wings feel right now. Well, if they make the playoffs, that's all that really matters. Holy crap, what a low bar. Knock it off that you want to be the equivalent to Iowa. Tell everybody who will listen, here's my goal. I want to beat Michigan. I want to beat Penn State. I want to beat Ohio State. I want to beat Oregon. That's the goal, is it not? If you want to win a Big Ten title, that's who you have to be. If you want to make the college football playoff, that's who you have to be. What's holding you back? Tell me what's holding your school back. It's not money, is it? They've got the Spartan Fund that their goal is $1 billion. They've got $250 million right now. They're going to upgrade facilities. That's great. They've got some really nice facilities right now. Not many kids are walking into Spartan Stadium saying, this place is a hole. I'm not coming here. Okay? They've got to do a better job in a lot of different levels at Michigan State University. They do. Big schools like that, good schools like that, traditional schools like that need to get with the times and do certain things differently. I've said this forever, okay? The goal is $1 billion. Who says they can't push past it, right? But there have to be results. I like the hire because I think he fits. He fits similar to that of, it's easy to say Mark D'Antonio, but even the George Perlis era, all right? He fits because of Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo is the standard at Michigan State University. Hell, he's the standard at other schools. That's what they're looking for. And people asked him, what did you think of the hire? I think we got ourselves a really good coach. Well, they're good friends. That helps. He has said that before. Okay? He said it before because he's a Michigan State guy through and through. And he wants to support people. I believe him in this regard because Pat Fitzgerald, football-wise, I think is the demeanor equivalent to Tom Izzo basketball-wise. Don't know how long it's going to take. I will say this. The leadership group thinks it'll take place pretty quick. Like right away is what they said. Fitzgerald has already hit the ground running recruiting. They're ranked 39th right now in the country, which needs to go up. They need to keep the recruits from the state of Michigan. He knows the Midwest. He knows the conference. And the reason I think he can hit the ground running is because I think for the most part, he knows his coaching staff. He knows who he's going to have. You also notice at the press conference, what did he say? He thanked the men who stayed and continued to recruit. Did all the right things, said all the right things. I don't know how many of those people will be rewarded, but I think Michigan State fans should appreciate the demeanor, the appreciation, the humility, and the direction that their football program is now under with this guy. Trent, what was your thought overall?
Well, I love the hire for all the reasons that we've talked about all week. Ever since we kind of thought that this was going to be a thing. He's from the Midwest, or he's used to the Midwest. He's used to the Big Ten. He's gone out of his way a couple times to put a little tongue-in-cheek slight towards Michigan. That's the kind of stuff that Jonathan Smith didn't necessarily have, and you don't always need to have that kind of stuff, but it certainly can't hurt. And Pat Fitzgerald, to me, I don't want to get into all the hazing stuff, the reason he was let go from Northwestern, but Jim Comparoni mentioned it a little bit yesterday. He's one of the better coaches in football that has just kind of been waiting, salivating for a second opportunity. And I just think the timing, the stars have aligned so well for this. And I love the rah-rah mentality. I forget who it was that mentioned sometimes you go for a complete 180. You had, it reminds me.
Oftentimes that's exactly what happens. You go from a defensive-minded or offensive-minded guy to a defensive-minded guy. You go from a quiet demeanor to a louder demeanor. You're looking for a polar opposite oftentimes is what you're doing.
And sometimes that can bite you in the butt because you're overcorrecting. But a perfect example of this in recent history in this state, to me, is Matt Patricia to Dan Campbell. Defense and hard ass to rah-rah offense, right? And it worked. Now, am I saying that's what we got with Pat Fitzgerald here? Of course not, because Jonathan Smith also isn't necessarily Matt Patricia. But you get the point I'm making. So I like the hire for all those reasons. I know coaches don't win press conferences, but if they did, Pat Fitzgerald got an A+ from me.
Well, they do win press conferences. I don't think there's any question about that. There's plenty of coaches who have won press conferences. That doesn't mean it wins them games.
That's winning, what I meant. Yes.
Yeah. They definitely win press conferences.
You could lose the press conference for sure.
Deshaun Foster.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pat Fitzgerald's very familiar with the landscape, and he understands the emotion associated with it. He understands when he came here, it's not just wearing a Spartan pullover, man. Okay. It's got to be felt deeply. And he did a few things. He was coached properly. Okay. I don't know if this came organically or if somebody told him about some of the issues the fan base had with Jonathan Smith. But what he did do is he said, go green. He mentioned Michigan. He talked about toughness. He talked about bringing in money. He talked about winning the state. He talked about Izzo. He hit on the right points.
Yep.
If he were the president giving a State of the Union address, he hit on all the right points and would have received a standing ovation. I thought he handled himself really well when it came to the media. He reiterated, whoever asked the question, he reiterated their name, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, who cares? No, it can be a big deal in the media.
Yeah.
There are little details. Okay. So that was something. He stepped away from the microphone on a regular basis to allow his president and his AD to stand in there if and when somebody was asking them a question, because he knew most of the questions were coming his way. He just didn't stand there and welcome those questions, almost shutting out the two leaders of the athletic and school. And the other thing that I thought he did brilliantly was handle the situation when somebody brought it up regarding the hazing at Northwestern and what he learned from it. And then he got emotional. And I think it's okay to show emotion. I'm not saying you want it every day, but I think it's okay to be emotional sometimes. It shows you care. He cares. He wants to be a difference maker.
And he's so happy to be back in football. And Shep, I think one of the biggest concerns that I've seen with the hire, people who are contrarians, they are a little concerned that, he's been out of the sport for a couple of years. NIL has changed so much in those couple of years even. Will he be in touch with all that? I thought he gave the perfect answer. If you go back and listen to his podcast with Reese Davis, he has been thinking about this. He has pretty much laid out the entire blueprint for how he's going to attack this modern landscape.
But he knew he was coming back.
And he knew he had the resources at Michigan State too. So he's
remember this. He had, according to him at the press conference, he and his representatives had 8 different schools reach out to them. That was the number he gave. And it came together quickly for Michigan State, where they were at the kitchen table and his son was smiling. It's the first time his son was smiling when they were talking about any of these schools. So it's not like, oh my God, you got to take this Michigan State, otherwise you're not getting anything. There's no question that he was coming back to college football. There's no question he was going to get another opportunity. It's just a matter of which opportunity he felt most comfortable with.
Right.
I thought the other thing that really struck me was, look, I'm going to be out on campus. I'm going to go out and meet students. He's out there politicking, not in a negative way, because anytime we talk about politics, it's viewed in a negative way. He's out there in a good way saying, hey, listen, I'm your new football coach. I want you there. He also alluded to the fact, didn't say it directly, but I read through this. I hope I'm reading it right. Spartan Stadium's got to get louder. The 12th person in Texas A&M, they call it the 12th man, but you can't do that today. The 12th person is really important at MSU. He said, first time he brought his team there, we made the mistake of warming up in front of the student section. We never did that again. He wants it back that way. It hasn't been that way in a long time. It needs to get back that way. Spartan Stadium cannot be quiet. It needs to be loud. It can't be subdued. It needs to be energized. he understands that. That's really cool. It's like when you go around the Big Ten, what are the loudest buildings? We've said this about basketball before, and it's Mackey and Breslin, and I think it's also Indiana, okay? But tell me in football, the loudest stadiums. It's Autzen, which is Oregon. It's Ohio State, and it's Penn State. Okay? They live for their football programs. You can't help but wonder if maybe the reason Spartan Stadium isn't quite as loud as maybe you think it should be is because people label it a basketball school. We know Breslin gets loud. It's deafening. Part of Pat Fitzgerald's quest will be to make Spartan Stadium the equivalent of Breslin Stadium. And that's a hard thing to do in a short period of time. Can he do it? Let's hope so. I think it's a really good hire. Get your thoughts on it. The Meyer Hotline, 866-838-4843. The text line, Sports Radio 21,000. The Lions in the power rankings, it kind of fluctuates a little bit with Detroit. I think something got it right, but some are way off base. We'll discuss when we come back on X's and Bros throughout the great state of Michigan. We're brought to you this hour by Mitch Lyons Wealth and MitchLyonsWealth.com.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Soar to new heights of winning with Eagle Casino and Sports. Enjoy your favorite games wherever you are, whether at home or on the go. Dive into exciting slots, spin the roulette wheel, or challenge yourself with virtual table games, all at your fingertips. Sign up now and opt in to receive a deposit match up to $1,500 for the casino, plus up to 100 free spins. Download the Eagle Casino and Sports app today and experience winning with just a tap. Go you! Must be located in Michigan and 21 years or older. Other conditions apply. Visit playeagle.com to join the action. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
X's and Bros and our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer want to send you to the Lions game Thursday night at Ford Field. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Shepard, host of X's and Bros, Monday through Friday. I'll be at the Meyer location in Rivertown Market in downtown Detroit from noon until 1 Thursday, and I'll announce the winner. You can qualify by texting Ferris to 21,000. That's Ferris to 21,000, and you could be going to the Lions and Cowboys game Thursday night. Good luck, and go Lions.
Huge here with a message to all of you Lions fans. My good friend Josh Garvey, who runs Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office, will join me every Thursday with former Lion Lomas Brown, and we'll go inside the Lions each and every week all the way through the Super Bowl. Dorn Mayhew is proud to partner with the Huge Show, and we're proud to have a guy like Josh Garvey join us in studio every week. If you have a Lions question or comment, you can drop them at a Huge Show on Twitter, The Huge Show on Facebook. Dorn Mayhew, proud to be a part of the West Michigan community and across the entire state with their corporate worldwide headquarters in Troy, Michigan. So make plans every Thursday, 5 p.m. It's Josh Garvey, who is the managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's GR office, with Lomas Brown on the Huge Show going inside the Lions every Thursday at 5 p.m.
You're listening to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard on the Michigan Sports Network. And if you missed any of today's show, be sure to check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your podcasts to find the greatest hits from every day's show.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
It's time to go in the huddle with Matt Shepard.
1, 2, 3, top flight!
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. To say tomorrow night is a must-win for the Lions might be a little dramatic, but it's not too far off. The Cowboys in their 3-game winning streak come calling at Ford Field, and they bring with them the number 1 passing team in the NFL, behind arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league, and an offensive line that allows the second lowest pass rush rate. The Lions, in the meantime, have registered just 4 sacks in the last 4 games and allow opposing quarterbacks the longest time in the pocket to throw the football. If that continues Thursday night, the Lions will not only lose back-to-back games for the first time in almost 3 years, but they'll likely be bounced from playoff contention as well. Never would have expected that a month ago.
Thanks for tuning in to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard, only on the Michigan Sports Network.
I don't really look into, me proving people wrong, People gonna think what they want to think, regardless of what you do or what you don't do. So, I just go out there and do my job the best I could do it. It's just part of the game. We already had chemistry. And like I said, I just executed on the opportunities. I should have did it more. We came out with a loss, and, what I did don't even matter because we lost.
Jamison Williams, welcome back, X's and Bros. That was him this week, reflecting on the Thanksgiving Day loss to Green Bay, in which he had a career-high 7 catches, 144 yards, a touchdown, 10 targets as well. You're going to have that with Jamison Williams when Amon-Ra St. Brown gets hurt. Now, he would still like to play against Dallas, St. Brown, despite the high ankle sprain. Missed practice again yesterday. He has missed practice both Monday and Tuesday. Things a little different for the Lions this week because they've had a little extra time since the Thanksgiving Day game. And, of course, they take on the Cowboys tomorrow, and we want you to go. We want you to be eligible to go. How do you do that? Well, Ferris Coffee and Meyer have teamed up to purchase a couple of tickets for you. And all you have to do is text the word Ferris, Ferris, to 21,000. If you do that, you'll become eligible to win the tickets, the Lions and the Cowboys, that we will announce tomorrow here on X Bros or social media. Kind of a little bit of both. Let me get to a couple of texts. Shepard, we see Sebastian Kosa and Kevin McGonigal. It's a good question about Kosa. Kosa was Steve Eisman's first ever first-round pick. He's been lingering in Grand Rapids. When you go out and you make as many goalie acquisitions as Steve Eisman has, and many of them have not worked out, including the latest in John Gibson, Gibson and Talbot are one of, at least according to a recent poll that I read on The Athletic, one of the worst goaltending tandems in hockey. Unless you've got the guts to cut Gibson, and I don't know why Steve Eisman would do that so early in a season, even though the season's getting later and later each day. After going out and acquiring him, I can't imagine that he would do that. They're just going to try and fix him. I doubt you see Kosa at all unless there's an injury or the Red Wings part with a goalie. Talbot and Gibson is what you're going to have for a while. Shep Pistons went 5 for 26 from 3 versus a terrible team against Atlanta the other night. Against the West and really good teams, unfortunately, they will get exposed. Trajan is on the clock. Do what the other 3 GMs didn't do. Don't just focus on marketing. Okay, so a couple of things there. First and foremost, calling Atlanta, a terrible team is a little bit of a stretch. They had won, I think, 5 of their previous 8 coming in. Not that that's a big deal. They're above 500. They would be the 7th seed in the East right now. I don't think it's fair to say they're a terrible team. If they did that against Indiana, who they've beaten twice, maybe I could see that. You're going to have off-shooting nights, man. You got to find a way. Look, I said this the other day, and I focused probably a little bit too much on the exact same thing that the texter brought up, 5 for 26 from 3. You know what else they did? They blocked 9 shots. That was important, don't you think? They held Atlanta to 43% shooting. I thought that was important. They had 11 steals. I thought that was pretty important. They also had 18 assists, which isn't a huge ratio, but they were sharing the basketball a little bit. Blocked shots, steals. Their defense is, by today's standards, and so far in this small window, okay, of, 21 games, their defense has been elite. So we can focus on that. I do agree with the texter, though. Trajan Langdon, not that he's on the clock, not that he has to do it right now, but I am very interested to see what he's going to do at the trade deadline. Does he make a little tweak like he did a year ago in Dennis Schroeder? Or is he willing to go get somebody who will make a massive impact for this team?
Lauri
also,
Markkanen.
What's that?
Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen is a name they wouldn't be just focused on Lauri Markkanen, of course. But yes, I mean, that's the name that everybody brings up.
Also, a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about Anthony Davis. I am so glad that those rumors have sort of simmered a little bit.
Yeah,
he would not fit with this team.
Why not?
He's never healthy either.
Why not? Why don't you think he'd fit?
Because I think they're set with their bigs, and he would fit if he's healthy, but he's just never healthy. He's played 14 games with the Mavs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. I wouldn't want to, because Shep, you always say this, you'd be giving up a young player or two young players in your rotation plus draft picks, I assume, for Anthony Davis. I would hate that right now.
Is it fair? Okay, just because the team is humming doesn't mean that you can't make a trade. Though,
you can get better, but I don't think Anthony Davis necessarily makes the team better just because of his lack of availability. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you would admit that Anthony Davis is a really good defensive player, right?
Of course.
When healthy.
Yep.
Yeah. So if that's the case, why wouldn't he fit with this team?
No, I think he would. I meant timeline-wise. I just meant he's kind of towards the end of his prime. I know prime doesn't always matter a ton, but he's injury-prone. He can't even stay on the court for his current team. The Lakers clearly didn't think too highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think with what this team has going on, you can improve elsewhere. Like a Lauri Markkanen trade would get me a lot more fired up than an Anthony Davis trade, put it that way.
I understand that. And Lauri Markkanen is a gifted offensive player. He's not a very good defensive player. As a matter of fact, he's a sieve.
Yeah, he's kind of like Duncan Robinson.
Okay, well,
so you'd have two guys who are stretch bigs.
So that's a bit of an issue.
Who can't defend.
If this team is now known, this team is known for what? Cade Cunningham and his defense right now. Why would you bring in a guy? I like Lauri Markkanen, an offensive player too. But why would you bring in a guy who's going to walk a lot of minutes, score you a lot of points, but not prevent many points? Why is he a better fit than a guy who identifies with what this team's identity is?
Well, because let's think about this. What would the package be? And yes, I said
I don't know.
For Lauri Markkanen. Like Jaden Ivey, would you include him in there and maybe some draft picks?
Yes, because if I'm the other general manager, I've got to have that.
Yeah,
period.
And I get that.
Yeah.
So for me,
and you would want it too, by the way. You would want that.
Yes, I would. But I guess my point is, if you're giving up Jaden Ivey and draft picks, you're not getting away from your defensive mentality. You're keeping all those defensive players that have this team where it's at right now.
Oh, because of Ron Holland and Asar Thompson.
Ron Holland, Asar Thompson. Yes.
You think you're keeping all of them for Lauri Markkanen?
You're probably giving up Jaden Ivey, one younger player, and
you're giving up. Dude, you're giving up Jaden Ivey and one of those players you just mentioned.
Which one would you go with?
I really don't know.
Stewart?
Probably Stewart. Yeah, but he's such a good rim protector.
Yeah, he is.
Jalen Duren's become a better rim protector, so that helps. But Lauri Markkanen is not going to. He's not going to give you that. He's going to give you 26 points a game, which is great. Right? He's going to shoot 47%. He's going to make threes. I worry about the defense part of things. Okay. So then it begs the question, who else might be out there? Who else would be a guy? Would you want a DeMar DeRozan, for example? Probably not. Because if you're giving up Jaden Ivey, DeRozan kind of slips into that situation. What's the point of just bringing on a guy who makes more money and hasn't been able to do what many people had hoped he would do? Okay. There are plenty of names out there besides Markkanen, others that may not be, huge names, whether it be a Jaden Springer or a Larry Nance Jr., maybe a Cam Johnson. I don't know who fits. Miles Bridges, possibility, right? I don't know who fits per se. Markkanen's the obvious name that everybody likes to associate because he is the best player of what people have recognized. I think you got to be careful and you don't make a move just for the sake of making a move. I think that's really important. And I don't think Trajan Langdon will do that just for the sake of doing it. On the other side, we will talk with some friends at Ferris Coffee and Company, Landon Melling, part of the retail development team, will talk to us about his company and their association with the Detroit Lions. They are the official coffee maker of the Detroit Lions. They are owned and operated, family owned and operated for 100 years. Proud member of this great community and this great state right there in Grand Rapids. He will join us on the other side, brought to you by Meyer.
It's a New Year's Eve bingo bash at Soaring Eagle Casino. Close the books on 2025 and win big prizes, including free bingo for a year, logoed champagne glasses stuffed with $500 cash, concert tickets, bingo baskets, and more. Tickets just $200 on sale now at etix.com. Come on down and win big. It's New Year's Eve at the Soaring Eagle Bingo Hall. Main session at 1:30, early bird at noon. Must be 18. Rules at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
18 after the hour. Welcome back on a Wednesday morning. X's and Bros throughout the state of Michigan. Thanks for being with us. Excited for the buildup to the Lions and the Cowboys tomorrow night and what many people are calling a must-win at Ford Field. We want you to go there. In order for you to be eligible, our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer have tag teamed on 2 tickets to get you to Ford Field tomorrow night. How do you get involved? It's simple. Text Ferris, Ferris, to 21,000, and we will pull the name of the winner tomorrow. Okay? Landon Melling, a retail development expert for Ferris Coffee and Night Company, joins us to talk about the promotion and a whole lot more. Landon, hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. How are you today?
Guys, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing fantastic. What's new with Ferris Coffee and Nut Company, considering this is the holiday season, and I would guess perhaps your busiest time of the season?
Yeah, for our team here at Ferris Coffee and Nut, this is kind of our Super Bowl season. We're getting ready. We've already gotten our holiday line launched here this year on our nut and snack side. So a variety of unique holiday package themed items. And then we've got our Den Blend dark roast that we have rolled out all across the state of Michigan. We're in year 2 of our partnership with the Detroit Lions. Last year, we had a 12-ounce retail bag that made its way across Meijer and Costco and many independent retailers across the state. And then this year, we've expanded and launched a food service offering of that same line as well, too. So fractional coffee packs, 5-pound bulk coffee as well, too. So whether you're an independent retailer and want to bring in Den Blend to your workplace coffee, to your food service team, or if you're a retailer as well, you can go to ferriscoffee.com and we can get you set up.
Yeah, what's new for Ferris Coffee and Nut Company this year?
Yeah, so the big thing for us is we have a new seasoned cashew line here that's coming out over the next couple of weeks. We have a couple of new flavors that are kind of forward-thinking and regional that we're rolling out here. Think like a umami ramen and a dill pickle with garlic cashew that we'll be rolling out here. So we're really excited to get that program up and running and get it stood up over the next couple of weeks.
The thing that when touring your facility, and it's been there for 100 years, family owned and operated there in Grand Rapids, the thing that impressed me most is the family atmosphere there. How do you notice that on a regular basis by people who truly care about their product and the people who are buying their product?
Yeah, I think I think we have all the right people in the right seats who have worked to build this team from the ground up. We're all kind of rowing in the right direction right now. And when you think about a family of being able to partner and count on each other, a small and nimble team, we have just under 100 employees here out of our Grand Rapids location. And again, from the production side to sales and marketing, we're all in this together to be able to grow. And so thinking about our innovation team and being able to roll out products that our consumers love, and then having a team that's able to build and execute those products. So we're all kind of swimming in the same direction with that.
Yeah, what I like most about it, Landon, is not just the product itself, but how you combine that product with people's passion for football with the Lions. What are some of the Lions-oriented items that you guys have worked with the franchise on that you think should be big sellers come holiday season?
Yep. So we launched our 12-ounce retail ground. It's a Den Blend dark roast, which is available in Meijer today. And so we launched that as a 1 SKU line last year. And since then, we've also launched a 16-ounce commemorative tin, the 10,000 unit run that we did of these special 1-pound coffee tins. Think like your traditional style Honolulu blue coffee tin. Be a great gift as well. Or if you're an independent retailer, would be a great product to have out for the holiday season. And then we took that success that we had from the retail line, and then we've expanded it now to some of our food service offerings. So at Ferris, we're about 50-50 food service and retail.
Oh, wow.
And so thinking like workplace coffee, if you're a C-store and you have a coffee set up there, we have bulk coffee offerings for our Detroit Lions program now as well, too. So we've rolled that out. Whole bean and ground offerings for the Den Blend Dark Roast.
All right, so you got the Lions game against Dallas tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be there or not. I'm going. What are your thoughts on the Lions' opportunity against the Cowboys with your head, not your heart? I know your heart tells you you want them to win. We all do. But I want to know from a football standpoint how important that game is to you and how you think the Lions can fare against the number one passing unit in the National Football League.
I think it's a must-win game for us. I'm not hitting the panic button on this team yet. I know that we've shown over the last couple of years that when the chips are down, that this has been a team that's found a way to win games. And so, yeah, Dallas, I look at them in a lot of ways. They're similarly built to us. They have a really strong offense, a lot of good guys that can make plays with the ball in open field. And so, we're going to have to be able to counter that. From an injury standpoint, we are missing some big guys that you'd like to see out there on defense. Of course, Terrion Arnold on IR. Not sure if Kirby Joseph's going to be back there, but defensively, as a whole unit, we are healthier than we were at this point last year. And so if we can get all of our guys going in the right direction, again, this is a must-win game for us. So we got to go out there and find a way to get some stops and also get some protection back there for Goff.
It's a really good point, Landon. It really is that perhaps they're healthier now defensively than they were a year ago, not offensively, of course. Will it be good enough? We'll soon find out. We know this. If people are looking for the right gift, the perfect gift for someone important in your life, Ferris Coffee and Nut Company have it for you at Meijer and the various local retailers. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great and partnership with the Detroit Lions. And thanks for being part of our family, too, here on the Michigan Sports Network. Have a great day, bud.
Thank you so much. Go Lions.
All right. Landon Melling, the retail development for Ferris Coffee and Nut Company. He brought up a really important point. It's a jumping off point for our next segment. And that is something that Amon-Ra St. Brown alluded to yesterday. Okay. So we're going to talk about that coming up here on X's and Bros. They've got their work cut out for them for sure. Okay. Both offensively and defensively. This is going to be one of the bigger challenges this team is going to face. Okay. So we'll get into that when we come back. We'll also dive into where the various power rankings are. Now, I know we say this every single week that it's not the be all end all. We've got to understand that. Take it with a grain of salt. This is somebody's opinion after 1 week, and it's going to fluctuate for sure. But as you get later in a season and you recognize, man, how this team is now perceived is completely different than it was even a month ago. So we'll talk about that too when we come back. We appreciate Landon Melling joining us here on X's and Bros. We want you to join us too. The Meijer hotline is 866-838-4843. The text line is Sports Radio 21,000. We're brought to you this hour on a Wednesday morning by Meijer.
Make every second count inside the $3,360,000 Mega Cash Cube at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Every Friday and Saturday in December from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 2 lucky winners will be drawn every hour to step into the Cash Cube. Once the bills start flying, it's game on. Grab as much cash as you can before the clock hits zero. $30,000 in cash is swirling around, and whatever you can grab is yours. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
X's and BrO's and our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer want to send you to the Lions game Thursday night at Ford Field. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Shepard, host of X's and BrO's Monday through Friday. I'll be at the Meyer location in Rivertown Market in downtown Detroit from noon until 1 Thursday, and I'll announce the winner. You can qualify by texting Ferris to 21,000. That's Ferris to 21,000, and you could be going to the Lions and Cowboys game Thursday night. Good luck, and go Lions.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Ferris Coffee has been family-owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Ferris Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
I don't know if one win is the answer because we've kind of been winning, losing these past, I don't know how many weeks it's been. So one win, I don't think will be the answer. Would it help? Definitely. But we gotta stack wins. I think that's the biggest thing, stacking wins, especially at this point in the season. So for us right now, it's the Cowboys is the most important. So we got to take care of this first. Say we do take care of this game, we just got to be able to continue to, build off what we did the week prior and not take steps backwards. So I think that's the biggest thing. But a win would definitely help a lot of things right now.
That's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't know if he's going to play. We know he's missed practice the last couple of days. Dan Campbell said yesterday if he can play, he will play. So it's bad if he can't. Welcome back. X's and Bros Monday through Friday, 6 until 9. He was talking about stacking wins. When's the last time they had back-to-back wins? What's the date?
Right before the Chiefs game, right?
Back-to-back wins?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I feel like ever since then, win-loss.
Yes. October 5th.
Wow. It's December, folks. That's 2 months ago.
Tomorrow, correct me if I'm wrong, is December 4th.
Yep.
It's been 2 months since this team was able to, quote-unquote, stack back-to-back wins. That tells you how far they have fallen. Everybody's jumping off. They are. Listen to the national media prepare for this game. Listen to the national media talk about, this game itself, where the Lions are and where the Cowboys are. And I heard something from somebody that really pisses me off. Now, I have been critical of the Lions just like you have, and for good reason. They deserve it, okay? We can talk about Brad Holmes with the lack of trades, the trade deadline. We could talk about the lack of free agent acquisitions on the offensive line. We could talk about the draft and not getting another edge rusher if you want to until the 6th round. We can talk about the extensions of Jamison Williams and others, although I was in favor of most of them. All right, full transparency. But I heard something from a guy out of Boston, I'm not going to say his name, the national guy, who focuses more on basketball and does all these freaking Celtics, docu-series that everybody's got to air. Netflix, let's get this on there because it's about the Boston Celtics, When is somebody, as I digress, when is somebody actually going to do something about Detroit? I mean, other than, the typical bad boys or, what happened between McCarty and the Colorado Avalanche. When is something like that going to happen? Is anybody going to come to Netflix, and is Netflix going to buy it, or any of these other, Paramount, Hulu, whoever, and do something about a docuseries on Detroit? I've pitched it. I have. There's a lot of really good stories that we have. We haven't done them. Why haven't we done them? Well, we've got people who write books, which is great. All right. Mitch Albom's an unbelievable author, unbelievable writer, and he does that. Where's Jeff Daniels doing this stuff? He's out there making all these shows. It's great, but how about doing something like this? How about doing a Detroit project? Anyway, let me
good question. Great question.
Yeah. So this guy comes out, you know what he says? What's one of my least favorite sayings in sports?
At the end of the day?
Well, that's a good one.
It is what it is.
Oh, that's two. The window.
Yeah.
Of opportunity.
There you go. That's more of a philosophy.
Yes.
I would say that's your number one least.
But it's also a phrase. It's also a phrase.
It is. Yeah, the window's open.
Yeah, the window. We got to take advantage of the window. He said this yesterday. He said, the Lions have missed their window. Their window was the last 2 years. And I think a lot of people believe that. I do. They've had problems this year. There's no question. There's going to be at the end of this season. So I think Dallas is going to win tomorrow night. But now I am, because of this jackwagon, I'm like, okay, screw this. Let's go. I'm going to start to think they can rally, and they're going to start to win more games down the stretch than not. And then you got to go, idiot. No, stop. Think with your head, not your heart. They can't. Are they going to beat the Rams? I don't think so. Sure, they'll beat the Steelers. Are they going to beat the Bears in Chicago? Probably not. They can win a low-scoring game against 9 in Minnesota, but it's going to be really hard. You know this, okay? This is what it's made me do. It's like, screw you, flip that guy off and say, come on, Detroit, let's prove everybody wrong. Prove me wrong, too. That's what I want. But there's going to be coming a time at the end of this year, Trent, where Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and everybody else, scouts and everybody else, they're going to have to sit in a conference room. And they're going to have to look at one another and say, okay, what we were doing was very successful. We have to now weigh, do we keep doing it because it was successful? Or do we have to adjust because we lost a key number of pieces who made it successful? Case in point.
Adapt or die, maybe,
well,
perhaps.
It could be the Brad Pitt quote from Moneyball, and that is adapt or die. Okay? Blank you, Billy. Now you're going to fire. Now I'm going to fire you. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to figure out we could go for it on fourth down a lot. You know why? Because we had a son of a bitch at center, a son of a bitch at right guard. And we didn't have that this year. So we got to change something. Brad, well, you know what? You know what I got to do? I got to start paying attention to the defensive line a little bit more. I got to start looking at trenches. I've got Gibbs. I've got Williams. I've drafted Tesla. I've signed St. Brown for a long period of time. I worry a little bit about Sam Laporta and that injury, but I think I've got my tight end. I gave a lot of money to a quarterback who I think can be very good. His numbers tell you he can be very good. You know what else his numbers tell you? You can't just read half the numbers, folks. You can't just sit there and say, well, he's really accurate. Yes, when he has time. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out. If you are going to need time to be successful, you've got to build it up front. He did that by drafting Tate Ratledge. He did that by drafting Penei Sewell. He's going to have to keep doing it. Instead of using two guys specifically that can upset the proverbial apple cart, two guys who aren't very good at what they do. Now, one, you may have to say, well, the jury's still out. Do you have time for that jury to still be out? Or call them back into the courthouse, man. And as I've said before, and I've said this for 3 weeks now, at least 3 weeks, I've said, look, long term, you're going to have to address a number of different needs, whether it be another running back, depending on Montgomery, another linebacker, depending on Anzalone, a tackle. How much longer does Decker have? You have to address these areas in addition to pass rush, center, and all these other things, right? So you look at some of these mock drafts. Oh my God, I know we're looking at mock drafts. And what do? They've got the Lions taking offensive linemen. I'm okay with that. Good. Get that big dude up there who squats 650 and spits blood in the huddle and blows snot out his mask. Get him up there on stage and have him hug Roger Goodell. I'm fine with that. I don't need the dude who's really fast and really flashy. Give me a guy who wears Carhartt up on the damn stage. I'm all right with that. I want a football player. Okay? They're all going to have to do some things differently because they don't have the same personnel. It's always bothered me that coaches will tell us every team is different. That's why certain programs, Michigan, for example, labels their teams. It's team 125 or whatever it may be. You know why? Because this team is different than last, and it'll be different than next. And the Lions are going to be different. Lions aren't the same team this year as they were a year ago. Next year, they won't be the same team as this year. So if you're telling me that all your teams are different, how about coaching them differently? Because they're different. They have different strengths, and they have different weaknesses. So I was looking yesterday, obviously, at the power rankings like I always do at this time of the week. We've done it through every single sport. ESPN has the Patriots 1, the Rams 2, the Broncos 3, the Seahawks 4, and the Packers 5. A little surprising there. Where do you think they have the Lions?
12.
They have them at 11.
Oh, I lowball.
X factor down the stretch, Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson has. Can we just be honest here? It's not. This has nothing to do whether you like him or not, because I like him. This has nothing to do whether or not you like the pick. I liked it, and this has nothing to do with whether or not you thought you should have signed him to a long-term deal. Everybody universally held hands and said they should. Okay? This has to do with production and production alone. The production is not there, period. Since he signed his contract, he's had 2.5 sacks. It's not good enough. Doesn't mean it's all on him. It means he's part of it, and he's a major part of it. Don't be doing commercials. Don't be making appearances. Don't be signing big-time deals and not think that expectations are higher, because they are. Let's go to the phone line. Line 888-838-4843. Who's on Wednesday morning?
We got Chuck in Muskegon listening on 96.1 The Game, our flagship. He wants to chime in on these Lions.
Hi, Chuck. How are you, buddy?
Shep, how you doing, man?
I'm okay.
Hey, just wanted to say that, I know that Morton and Campbell have been running the offense and everything else, but I wonder if it ever crossed. See, I like Campbell. I think he's a great culture guy. I don't know if he's the brightest guy as far as the head coach goes, but the faith that I have in the Lions is Brad Holmes. He's bent on winning the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that Campbell and some of the other higher brass isn't, but to be a great GM, you have to think like a GM. And I can't believe, and I don't know what the legalities would have been, but you would think they would have went after Brian Dable to run their offense when he got let go by the Giants. I mean,
well, in the middle of the season,
Campbell had a great game against.
In the middle of the season, that would be tough.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so a couple things. So a couple things here, Chuck. A couple things. First, that would be really difficult to bring a guy in the middle of the season to be an offensive coordinator and start calling plays. If he's not on your staff, that never happens. That never happens. So that's number one. And you could probably say the same thing about Mike McDaniel at the end of the season. Okay, if Mike McDaniel gets fired by Miami, that could be a possibility, even though Miami's offense isn't great. So that's number one. Number two, you said he doesn't know what he's doing. When he took over and they beat the living snot out of Washington, I doubt many people were saying that. Okay, so that's number two. And number three, you said you don't think Dan Campbell is the brightest. You think he's a great motivator. What makes you say that, considering this team has had as much success as it had the last 2 years? Do you think Dan Campbell just stands off to the side and doesn't do anything at all?
No, I'm not insinuating it. What I'm saying is, as far as an offensive coordinator, I think it's the way he runs, it's too vanilla. But anybody that doesn't kick a field goal against San Francisco to go up 3 scores to get you to the Super Bowl, that's one thing I can tell you about. I got lots of things about Dan Campbell that I don't think he's just too brazen for me. I like him. He's a great culture builder. He's a great coach. The players love him. I just don't think. I don't know why he declared himself the offensive coordinator. Obviously, his hands are tied and he's only got so many options. But it's kind of like a slow-pitch softball coach that says, "Hey, I got a team and I'm going to lead off and play shortstop." Well, I think there's better people they could have brought in to run the offense, and we might disagree on that a little bit. But I'm not going to disagree with you after the season. I'm going to disagree with you if it's an in-season move. I don't think you're bringing in another head coach who has his own offense in New York, although it's not very good, and bring him into Detroit and say, "You're now my offensive coordinator. John Morton, you're going to be my quality control guy. And by the way, Brian, you're going to have to learn this offense and learn it quickly, because you can't expect all the offensive players to start learning his language and his scheme. It's got to be the other way around." And Dan Campbell's the guy who implemented the scheme and the language. I know Ben
Johnson called really well. John Morton didn't earlier this year, although he did against – look, we had no problem with John Morton calling plays against the Bears, against the Ravens, against the Browns, and against the Bengals. We didn't have any issue with that.
Right.
Okay. And then soon thereafter, we had a serious problem with it. Right. Okay. So I get it, but I don't think you're bringing in, I don't think you're bringing in another coach to a team and saying, all right, you're going to be my OC. You could do that in the offseason. And I don't know who else on this staff, Chuck, would be. I mean, do you want Scotty Montgomery to call the plays? If it's not John Morton, if you take the play calling away from him, who else is an option? Is it Mark Brunell?
And I think, possibly, but someone that's been there that knows the offense and all that stuff. And I don't know a lot about football, and I don't claim to because, I'm just another fan out there with another opinion. But personally, in my opinion, I don't think you bring Dable in. I think by now he'd have been that dude's pretty bright. And I think it wouldn't have taken him long to, maybe he just can't take over the whole offense, but you start integrating him to do something like that. And I'll guarantee you that Brad Holmes thought about that, went through Brad Holmes' mind. I'll guarantee it did. He's too much into winning. He turns over every rock. And I have 10 times more faith in Brad Holmes than I do anyone in that organization because he'll get it right. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it, Shep.
All right, no, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you. And let me just say this: I mean, your opinion does matter. I don't care if you say, I don't know football. I'm just a fan. Your opinion does matter. I would say this: Brad Holmes, I think, has left. This happens to a lot of organizations. I think Brad Holmes has left himself more susceptible to criticism than Dan Campbell has, because of some of the draft picks that he's made, because of the moves that he hasn't made, and because of the moves he has made. He has made himself more susceptible. You think he wants to win a Super Bowl? I would guarantee you Dan Campbell matches that, if not exceeds that passion for a ring himself. And thanks for the phone call. You say Brian Dable. Remember this. We're talking about a guy who was fired at 2-8. His team was 3-14 a year ago and 6-11 the year before. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who, as a head coach, is 20, 40, and 1. Now, you may like him as an OC because of his offensive coordinator stints in Cleveland, Miami, Kansas City, and Buffalo. I get it. Some guys are just better coordinators. But to say that he's a brilliant guy and that Dan Campbell isn't the brightest is very confusing to me. Because the records, and we're all married to records, quarterbacks are, coaches are, the records would tell you the direct opposite, that it's Dable who's not the brightest guy, and Dan Campbell sure as hell is. Quick timeout, back with more after this. We're brought to you by Meyer on a Wednesday morning on X's and Bros.
Huge here with a message to all of you Lions fans. My good friend Josh Garvey, who runs Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office, will join me every Thursday with former Lion Lomas Brown, and we'll go inside the Lions each and every week all the way through the Super Bowl. Dorn Mayhew is proud to partner with The Huge Show, and we're proud to have a guy like Josh Garvey join us in studio every week. If you have a Lions question or comment, you can drop them at Huge Show on Twitter, The Huge Show on Facebook. Dorn Mayhew, proud to be a part of the West Michigan community and across the entire state with their corporate worldwide headquarters in Troy, Michigan. So make plans every Thursday, 5 p.m. It's Josh Garvey, who is the managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's GR office, with Lomas Brown on The Huge Show, going inside the Lions every Thursday at 5 p.m.
It's time to go in the huddle with Matt Shepard.
1, 2, 3, top flight! It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. To say tomorrow night is a must-win for the Lions might be a little dramatic, but it's not too far off. The Cowboys in their 3-game winning streak come calling at Ford Field, and they bring with them the number 1 passing team in the NFL, behind arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league, and an offensive line that allows the second lowest pass rush rate. The Lions, in the meantime, have registered just 4 sacks in the last 4 games and allow opposing quarterbacks the longest time in the pocket to throw the football. If that continues Thursday night, the Lions will not only lose back-to-back games for the first time in almost 3 years, but they'll likely be bounced from playoff contention as well. Never would have expected that a month ago.
The Michigan Sports Network is your exclusive home for X's and Bros with Matt Shepard and The Huge Show later today at 3 p.m.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Make sure you listen weekly to our Moving Ferris Forward interviews with Ferris President Bill Pink and other leaders who are moving Ferris forward. Find out more about Big Rapids and Ferris and what they have to offer at ferris.edu.
X's and Bros and our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer want to send you to the Lions game Thursday night at Ford Field. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Shepard, host of X's and Bros Monday through Friday. I'll be at the Meyer location in Rivertown Market in downtown Detroit from noon until 1 Thursday, and I'll announce the winner. You can qualify by texting Ferris to 21,000. That's Ferris to 21,000, and you could be going to the Lions and Cowboys game Thursday night. Good luck, and go Lions.
When you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Home run! Home run! He hit it a mile! Let's give them the keys to the Hall of Fame, but not tonight. Tonight they are in the Stanley Cup. Steve Eiserman, come get it.
It feels like cool. Heaven must be lying. I got one question for you, Michigan Nation. Who's got it better than us?
Right center field. That's got carry. It's gone. Number 500 and history for Miguel Cabrera.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Yes. This game is over.
Those puck they get.
They score. Red Wings win. Detroit basketball.
Detroit basketball earning some honors, and rightfully so. Welcome to the final hour of X's and Bros throughout the state of Michigan. And we're proudly brought to you by our friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Pistons boasting the Player of the Month in the Eastern Conference in Kate Cunningham, and the Coach of the Month in J.J. Victor's staff, who led the Pistons to a contest 16-4. They're 17-4 now. They're 16-4, franchise tying 13 consecutive wins. The 16-4 record matched the second best start in franchise history after 20 games. All right. They went 8-2 at home, 8-2 on the road, joining Oklahoma City as the only teams in the NBA this season to record 8+ wins in both home and away games. Tells you something. Pistons are top 10 in offense, 7th. Top 10 in defense, 8th. Tied for second in blocks, and 4th in steals. Here's the really impressive part. 7 of Detroit's 16 wins have come by double digits. Oh, and by the way, the Pistons also lead the NBA in points scored in the paint. 58.5 points per game scored in the paint is number 1 in the NBA. That's impressive stuff, man. Cade Cunningham is super impressive. Love this dude. I mean, he's so silky smooth. He makes it look easy. I know it's not, but he sure makes it look that way. He's a fun player to watch. I complained about the 6 turnovers the other day, but that's okay. It should be okay because we have high expectations. Folks, we've got high expectations for Aiden Hutchinson, right? Absolutely. We've got high expectations for Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, for sure. We have high expectations for Dylan Larkin. Why can't we have high expectations for Cade Cunningham? He's meeting most of those expectations. Averaged 29 points, averaged 9.5 assists, averaged 6.5 rebounds, shot 45.5% from the floor. That's meeting expectations, you bet. He has raised the bar for himself and for this team. That's a good thing. I love that about it. I want him on my team. I can't think outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the guard position. Some people may want Luka Doncic. I think I'd take Cade Cunningham, Trent, because of both ends of the floor, because of the leadership. Okay. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. You know me. This is not who I am. All right. I have no problem saying that dude's better than my guy. There's not many players better than Cade Cunningham in the NBA right now. That's not a bombastic statement by any stretch. I just think it's a true statement right now. Maybe some people were in on this earlier than I have been, and I'll tip my cap to you. All right. But the dude is so good and so fluid and so committed at both ends of the floor. This is what you want from your player. Again, I'm not saying he's the MVP. I think Nikola Jokic gets overlooked too frequently. I'm not saying he's the best player in the world. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pretty damn good, but he's in the conversation. And that's the fun part of it. Anyway, that's Detroit basketball. Pistons played tonight in Milwaukee, by the way. Red Wings a winner last night. Good for them. DeBrincat, Raymond, Sherratt, Van Riemsdyk, who's been better than people thought. Mo Sider lead them to a 5-4 win over Boston. Got a little leaky. They're up 5-2. They gave up 2 goals in the third. Didn't like that at all. That shows you this team is not complete. I don't know what they can do. All right. I don't know if Steve Yzerman can make any moves. Here's what I do know. They don't play with the proper edge on a regular basis. Certain teams do. It's not like I think Boston is a Stanley Cup threat. They play with an edge pretty regularly. Did you watch Colorado at all last night? I know, I did. Sorry. McKinnon with a couple of goals. They're 11-0-2 at home. They've got points in 17 consecutive games, folks. Detroit's not near that. I'm not suggesting they are or should be, but it shows you how far they have to go. Sometimes I look at other really good teams and I go, man, I thought my team was good. You know what I mean? Man, I thought my team was good. And you go, I don't know. Iowa was probably doing that from last night. Iowa fans are like, woohoo, Hawkeyes, way to go, baby. Yeah, man, we're 7-0. All right. We're playing another 7-0 team. They got steamrolled at Breslin Center. They're on the bus. They're waking up this morning going to school, and they're going, you see how far away we have to go? You see how much better Michigan State is than us? Yeah. That's it, right? If you're a Michigan football fan and you think, hey, man, we don't have far to go, you know, we're going to make a decent bowl game. We're a top 25 team. Look at Ohio State. Look at Indiana. Look at Oregon. Check those teams out. And that's just in your conference, man. Then look at Georgia, Texas Tech, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Miami, if you want to, and realize how far away you are. You got a ways to go. I look at the Wings and I say the same thing. It's great that they've leapfrogged their way to second place in the Atlantic Division, 30 points, 4 points back of Tampa. Have you watched Tampa play at all? It's impressive. Have you watched how some teams, Carolina, Rod Brindamore, former Spartan, his team is a physical team. New Jersey is a physical team. Boston is a physical team. I don't think Colorado is quite as much, but it's a team that is gifted in so many different ways with that team. Nathan McKinnon is so flipping good. He's got 22 goals, Trent. Do you realize that? Nathan McKinnon has 22 goals and 24 assists already.
He's involved in everything they do.
Just so you know, they've played 26 games, everybody. 26. That's how good this dude is. There are others who are pretty close to him. Like Mecklin Celebrini has been unbelievable. It's really impressive. Connor Bedard has been really good. Connor McDavid, I think, is the best player in the world. He's there. But Nathan McKinnon with 22 goals. My goodness, people. Our phone number, by the way, on the Meyer hotline is 866-838-4843. I want to get to the final results of our poll question from yesterday. Let's do that real quick. Then we got to hit a break, and we're going to talk more Lions on the other side. We asked you, do you like the hiring of Pat Fitzgerald as MSU head coach? Yes, it's great. I guess it's okay. No, I wanted somebody else, anyone but him. What were the results?
60% say yes, it's great. That wins the poll. 34% say I guess it's okay. Only 4% say no, wanted someone else. And 2% said no, anybody but him.
Good.
So if you add it up, Shep, you know I like to do this. Mm-hmm. Only 6% of people disagree with the hiring.
Only what was the percentage again?
Only 6%. 4% said I don't wanted someone else, and 2% said anybody but him.
Yeah, even of the 6%, I'd love to say who'd you want, you know? But that's really good. I mean, some people want Brett Key. I get that because of the Georgia Tech Association. There.
But 94% of people are at least okay with it.
Good. It's really good. How about the Daily Wager brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino? How'd you do?
Can we get to that on the other side? We didn't have one yesterday, so
let's get to that on the other side, and we'll have yours for tonight when we come back on X's and Bros after this.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Soar to new heights of winning with Eagle Casino and Sports. Enjoy your favorite games wherever you are, whether at home or on the go. Dive into exciting slots, spin the roulette wheel, or challenge yourself with virtual table games, all at your fingertips. Sign up now and opt in to receive a deposit match up to $1,500 for the casino, plus up to 100 free spins. Download the Eagle Casino and Sports app today and experience winning with just a tap. Go you! Must be located in Michigan and 21 years or older. Other conditions apply. Visit playeagle.com to join the action. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Toughness was born here in Michigan State football. And every game is going to be a focus of victory and winning. But there's one game that just means a little bit more, doesn't it? I'll just leave that one alone. So to the Spartan fans, the alumni, your passion is unmatched. I'm excited to earn your trust, to energize our program, and to build a team that you'll be proud of to support every Saturday.
That's Pat Fitzgerald from his press conference yesterday. You know what's weird? When he said, I'll just leave that one alone, I don't know why you would do that. Why would you leave it alone? I mean, everybody got the meaning. So, look, I said this earlier in the 6 o'clock hour. I think he won the press conference. Winning press conferences doesn't matter much to me, but I think it does give you a little bit of leeway if things go off track for a period of time. What I liked most about what he said at his press conference was not just the thanking of athletic director Jay Batt or school president Kevin Guskowitz or his family, and he got emotional about that, and I thought it was really good. But I loved, there's a few highlights for me. One was how he talked about walking around campus, and he's going to try and engage with the student body as much as possible. Talked about toughness. Talked about wearing a neck roll at Spartan Stadium and wearing a neck roll twice and beating Michigan. This is a tough dude. He's a Midwest guy. He's a Michigan guy. And I mean that. The state of Michigan, he is that type of guy. And I think he's a perfect fit for Michigan State because they have always been defined by toughness. I know that's easy to say with other schools in the Big Ten as well, but Michigan State really, that's when they have been most successful. Sure, back when they won the Rose Bowl over USC with Bobby McAllister and Lorenzo White and players like that, that's fine. They were really talented then too, but they were also really, really tough. And that's what this school needs right now. So I like that. But one of the things that I think was really impressive from him and Jay Batt and Kevin Guskowitz, and Tom Izzo mentioned this after his team beat the living crap out of Iowa, their handling and talk of Jonathan Smith was really classy. I know that may not register for many because what you want to focus on is how he's going to win and win right away. How is he going to win the recruiting battles? What's he going to do to make certain players on this team stay and make them better? And by the way, that was another area in which he addressed, which I thought was really prudent. But every one of them thanked Jonathan Smith, including Pat Fitzgerald, who's friends with Jonathan Smith. I mean, those guys have that bond. There's something in the coaching fraternity, okay? So for him to say, I want to thank my good friend Jonathan Smith, you can tell Jonathan Smith did something to help Pat Fitzgerald transition into the Michigan State head football coach.
Yeah, here's what they're looking for. Here's where maybe I came up a little bit short, and here's where you can excel.
Yeah. And he said the right things. He alluded to beating Michigan. He talked of Tom Izzo. He talked of toughness. He talked of discipline. Those are all things Michigan State fans want to hear. Now you got to come through with it. So I'm confident he will. I think he's a really good coach. I don't care what anybody says. If you can win at Northwestern, you can win just about anywhere. That's really hard to win there. It's hard to get kids to come there. Think about this for a second. And nobody said this better than Mitch Lyons the other day. I don't know if you've ever been on the road at Northwestern. Okay. I have plenty of times.
Same.
Have you been to Ryan Field?
Yes.
It's a high school stadium.
It's awful.
Okay. That's why Pat Fitzgerald was diligent and key to them raising enough money for a brand new facility at Northwestern. Think about that. His success, this needs to be reiterated and emphasized. His success there paved the way for a new football stadium. Not Randy Walker before him and not the coaches after him. He did that. That's a big deal as Michigan State tries to gain more money and momentum toward raising more money to upgrade their facilities. He will be instrumental in that. Look, don't kid yourself, man. The athletic director, that's job A, 1B. 1A is hire the right coaches. 1B, raise money. You could make the argument it's the other way around too, by the way. A coach has got to do the same thing. A coach is out there trying to raise money too. He's trying to bring his players in for sure, but he's glad handing with plenty of big donors to try and make sure their money's going to the right spot. Why do you think those big donors took it away with Mel Tucker? You don't think that had something to do with it? You damn right it did. It had everything to do with it. Donors don't want to send millions of dollars to a place where A, they're not going to win, but B, they're going to be embarrassed. And Pat Fitzgerald's just not going to do that. That's not who he is. So I like the hire. I think it's a strong hire by Michigan State, and I think he's going to be able to hit the ground running, if I can use another cliche. So good for him. All right. Let's get to the Daily Wager. What do you got for us tonight? Brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and their sportsbook Ascend, which has one of the best burgers you will ever taste. Now, here's what they do, though. I will remind you. It's well done. It's not a hockey puck. Okay? This has nothing to do with James Van Riemsdyk scoring his 4th goal last night. It's a really, really good burger. It's one of the best you'll have. Trust me when I tell you that. It's cooked to perfection. It's a really good burger there at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and their sportsbook Ascend, where you can go tonight and you can watch some college basketball and you can watch the Pistons take on the Bucks. It's a perfect place for it. What do you got?
Yeah, great segue there, Shep. We're going Pistons -4.5. That's the spread. I can't believe it's not a little bigger. The Bucks have lost, 8 of their last 10?
Correct.
And maybe 9. Is it 9 in a row? I don't know, something like that.
9? No, not 9 in a row.
Either way, they are not playing well, not playing good basketball, excuse me. I think the Pistons get it done at home tonight, and I think they do so in a big way, keep things rolling. So I'll take the 4.5 for the Pistons.
Yeah, Milwaukee right now is a team that if the playoffs started, they'd be on the outside looking in.
Which is crazy, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Because
Like
they make
play-in
Miles Turner. They have a player in Giannis Antetokounmpo. You would never think they'd be on the outside looking in the East.
They are 9-13 on the season, but 6 of their wins have come at home. So maybe there's something to be said for that. But yeah, I mean, you talk about a team that you thought would be at least competitive and contend. Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 30.5 points per game. Miles Turner is only averaging 12.5 points per game, and he's only averaging 6 rebounds per game.
Shep, if the Bucks were
what the hell happened there?
If they were 6th in the East right now, we'd be talking about what's wrong with the Bucks.
You're right.
The fact that they're completely out of the picture.
But I want you to think about that for a minute. Their big acquisition, and I thought he'd have been a really good fit for the Pistons. The big acquisition of Miles Turner, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 offensive rebound per game. That's never what I have thought. And it's not like he's not playing. He's played in all 22 games. He's averaging almost 30 minutes a game. He's just not productive at all. It's crazy. All right, when we come back, dive back into some Lions discussion for sure. The power rankings for them. We didn't quite finish that up with a lot of the other websites that we could dive into. And an early report that might make Detroit sports fans a little uneasy. We'll explain when we come back on X's and Bros after this, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
You are listening to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard on the Michigan Sports Network, but you don't need to be in Michigan to tune us in. Search XB Mornings on X or X's and Bros on YouTube.
X's and Bros and our friends at Ferris Coffee and Meyer want to send you to the Lions game Thursday night at Ford Field. Hi, everybody. This is Matt Shepard, host of X's and Bros, Monday through Friday. I'll be at the Meyer location in Rivertown Market in downtown Detroit from noon until 1 Thursday, and I'll announce the winner. You can qualify by texting Ferris to 21,000. That's Ferris to 21,000, and you could be going to the Lions and Cowboys game Thursday night. Good luck, and go Lions.
Make every second count inside the $3,360,000 mega cash cube at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Every Friday and Saturday in December from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 2 lucky winners will be drawn every hour to step into the cash cube. Once the bills start flying, it's game on. Grab as much cash as you can before the clock hits zero. $30,000 in cash is swirling around, and whatever you can grab is yours. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Okay. Wow. Do. Yep. Thank you.
Our margin for error is very small right now. So, of course, we got to find a way to win, and we want to win, you know. And I think I go back to this. I mean, we just lost one. We got to find a way to win this next one in front of us. And, yeah, I mean, time's running out. It's all about finding a way to win the game. But I've also been in these now before where we got counted out when I was a player. You know, we lost 2 in a row, and we were almost mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. That was all the writing, and then we won out and got in. So you just, man, you find a way to win the one in front of you and don't get caught up in the rest of the stuff. That's the bottom line. We're in this business to win. We're trying to win. We got to win.
Yeah, it's 7-5. It's just it's been a disappointing 7-5 so far. Not because of my preseason expectations of winning 13 games, but because they have not been able to stack wins like they need to. Welcome back, X's and Bros. That's Dan Campbell, of course, and the urgency, the sense of urgency that his team has to play with at home against Dallas tomorrow night on a Thursday night kickoff. We want to send you there. Ferris Coffee and Meyer have tag teamed to purchase a couple of tickets for you. Really good seats to watch the Lions and the Cowboys. You can become eligible. All you have to do is text the word Ferris, Ferris. Text the word Ferris to 21,000, and you'll be eligible. And we will choose the winner tomorrow. The Lions are they? Do you think they're still a top 10 team? The Athletics says they are. In their latest power rankings, despite 7-5, they have them at number 10. They have them ahead of the Indianapolis Colts, who are at 8-4. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that Daniel Jones has a broken bone in his leg, for crying out loud. 10 seems to me a little high. I'd be interested to see where you have them. The CBS Sports.com has the Patriots at number 1, the Broncos at 2, the Rams at 3. I think the Rams are better than the Broncos, although the Broncos won 1 in a row. I still think they're better than the Patriots. I love the way Mike Vrabel's team plays. They've got the Lions at 15. They actually, you're wondering, outside of 10, who they have in front of them. They have the Texans, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Colts, then the Lions. What's closer in your mind? 10 or 15? SI, borderline ridiculous, I think. It's about how teams playing. They've got the Lions right now at number 9. Just ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-4. Why, I have no idea. It says the Lions have faced incredible attrition once again this year on the injury front. On top of that, as we discussed ad nauseum before the start of the season, they made 2 coordinator changes and seemed to whiff on one of them. The offensive line is a shell of itself, and the team is still having a season. And the team is still having a season that, like 15 other teams, would sell its soul for. It's poorly worded. Detroit isn't what it was, but not every season contains nearly linear progress en route to a Super Bowl berth. Can I ask you this question? John Morton is seen as the whiff for the coordinators, right? I mean, is that fair? I think so. What about Kelvin Shepard? What's been more disappointing, the offense or the defense? I would say the offense. What suffered more injuries, the offense or the defense? That's a good question. And before you say, well, the defense, Shep, remember they lost their entire secondary. Yeah, and they won without that entire secondary against Tampa, and everybody praised Kelvin Shepard. Since that time, they have had all kinds of problems. They can't seem to get to the passer. Opposing quarterbacks have more time to throw than any other quarterback when they play the Lions at 2.99 seconds. So you tell me. Offensively, they've now lost Amon-Ra St. Brown. They've lost Sam Laporta. They've lost, at one point, Christian Mahogany. He says he's going to be back. 100% he'll be back at some point this year. They've missed Taylor Decker at times. They missed Graham Glasgow at times. Defensively, sure, they've missed Kirby Joseph. They've missed Terrion Arnold. They've missed DJ Reed. They missed Aleem McNeil up front. They missed Marcus Davenport. You can't use Davenport when you can't stand him. And you can't tell me that Terrion Arnold's been a big blow because you're the ones who have told me he's not a one corner. I think it's a big miss. I do. I think you missed starters. I'm just wondering, why is it that Dan Campbell whiffed on John Morton, but he hasn't whiffed on what has Kelvin Shepard done? And I like him, don't get me wrong, but what has he done that gives him the pass? I'm wondering. Just wondering out loud for you as well. Okay? What are your thoughts? Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's not even in the conversation. Pittsburgh's a team that's 6-6. Not very good at all. They're just a team. All right? They're not going anywhere. Even if they were happen to win the division, they're not going anywhere. There's a lot of people ticked off at the Steelers, and rightfully so. No offense has run fewer plays. No defense has been on the field for more plays than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, whose team was booed after a blowout loss to Buffalo last weekend, was asked about people's emotional state right now in Pittsburgh and how they feel for his team in booing his team. Here's what he had to say.
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man. We didn't do enough. And that's just the reality of it.
He said, in general, I agree with them. From this perspective, football is our game. We're in a sports entertainment business. And if you root for the Steelers, entertaining them is winning. And so when you're not winning, it's not entertaining. So he doesn't mind it. He understands it. There's a long push for people who are fans of the Steelers who think they should now move on from Mike Tomlin. I'm not going to disagree with them. They probably know that better than I do. Their expectations are super high in Pittsburgh, and rightfully so. Here's one of the most glaring statistics you can listen to when it comes to Mike Tomlin and his team in the playoffs. Are you ready? Okay. In the last 6 postseason first quarters, the last 6 playoff games the Steelers have played, in the first quarters of those 6 playoff games, they've been outscored 73-0.
Holy wow. Does that mean he doesn't have him ready to go? Is that what you're implying?
It's not what I'm implying. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you numbers.
What Steelers fans might be implying.
Sure. And I get that. That's stunning, isn't it?
Yes.
That grabs you. Yeah. I'm glad that stunned you because I agree with you. College football playoff came out. Playoff rankings came out yesterday. They make a big deal out of it, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's good television. That's what I'd be doing. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech 4. Oregon is in at 5. Then it's Ole Miss. So Ole Miss was not punished for the loss of their coach. But 2 years ago, Florida State was punished for the loss of their quarterback. That's interesting. Anyway, Texas A&M 7, Oklahoma 8, Alabama leapfrogs Notre Dame at 9, Irish at 10, BYU 11, Miami at 12. So a lot of people pissed off about these rankings at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt actually is behind Texas, who's 9-3, Vandy at 14. Vandy has, I think they've got some pretty good wins. Maybe you disagree. And I'm not bringing up Charleston Southern, okay, or even Virginia Tech. They beat South Carolina when South Carolina was ranked 11th. They lost to Alabama. They beat LSU when LSU was 10th. They lost to Texas. And they beat Tennessee, who was ranked 10th at the time. Tennessee is no longer ranked. The committee came out and said their quality win against Tennessee is no longer quality because Tennessee is no longer ranked. Is that a nice way of the committee saying the people who do the rankings don't know what the hell they're talking about? Honestly. This is the age-old argument. You could have it with the Lions and the Bears, you guys. Think about it for a minute. Is that a quality win now? Now that you look back, Detroit's win over Chicago, is that a quality win? The answer to that is yes. At the time, was it a quality win? It was not. When they beat Baltimore, was that a quality win at the time? Absolutely. Is it viewed as a quality win now? It is not. What's more important? The way that team is playing at the time and the way they're perceived, or the way they are right now? You're punishing Vanderbilt, and their two losses are justified. Alabama and Texas appear to be good teams. But you would have thought at the time the victories were good wins. I would have too. They're 10-2. What did I say when this whole thing came out? When they made the decision to go to 12 teams, I said it doesn't solve a damn thing. You know why? Because you're always going to have somebody pissed off. Such is the case with Vanderbilt. Utah's 10-2. Virginia's 10-2. Vanderbilt's 10-2. Tulane is 10-2. You don't think, hell, North Texas is 11-1. James Madison makes its debut. They're 11-1. They're ranked 25th. I'm not saying they belong in the college football playoff, but those teams have arguments with BYU, who's in at 11, with Miami, who's in at 10-2. If I'm Vanderbilt, I'm saying, wait a minute. I play in the hardest conference in America, right? That's what the SEC is viewed as the hardest conference in America. Okay. We've beaten some tough SEC opponents. How does our resume compare to Miami? We're both 10-2. You know who Miami's lost to? Louisville and SMU. You know who they've beaten? Who are ranked? They've beaten Notre Dame. It's the first game of the year. They've beaten South Florida. They've beaten Florida State, who turns out to be a fraud. So you got to take that off. And they've beaten Pittsburgh. This is the issue that you have with the college football playoff. It's always going to lead to debate. It hasn't solved a damn thing. This is troubling news for those of you out there who can't wait for spring training in the Tigers. I read an article ranking the players this offseason who could be traded. Number one is Tarek Skubal. I know. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, please. The predicted chance of getting traded is only 10%. How they come up with that, I have no idea. Which is stupid. I want you to think about this for a second. They've got him listed at 1, and the percentage chance of getting traded is 10%. They've got Ketel Marte, who's a good second baseman, getting chances of getting traded is at 40%. The guy who's at 40% should be 1. The guy at 10% should be lower. You think? It's a name more than anything else. It's the biggest name on the list. There are other big names on the list. If you think Freddie Peralta and Hunter Green and Byron Buxton, who can't stay healthy, and Joe Ryan, who I'd love in the middle of my starting rotation, and Jaron Duran, all those guys, for sure. Tarek Skubal's right there. Now, who's the best fit? What they have as the best fit for Tarek Skubal are the obvious contenders, the teams that can afford him. That's what I've always said about athletes who end up expecting a big payday soon. Their choices are very limited. Why? Because there's only so many teams that can afford you. So they've got the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Giants, and Orioles as fits. Orioles is a little bit of a surprise to me. Not that they can't afford him, but just that they would spend the money on him. Toronto's not in that, and there's a good reason for that. They just signed Dylan Cease. You think you got a good rotation. On paper, listen to this rotation. Kevin Gausman, Dylan Cease, Shane Bieber, Jose Barrios, Trey Yosevich. That's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. Just something to keep an eye on because, and I know you are, because it's going to get heated. The discussion, the rumors, soon, okay? Right now, we're distracted by the NFL. We're distracted by the college football playoff. We're fortunate in this market because we're distracted by 3 really good basketball teams. The Pistons, Michigan State, a winner over Iowa last night, and Michigan. All good stuff, right? But at some point, that attention is going to be diverted, and this will be part of it. Here's what they write about the buzz with Tarek Skubal. Despite several executives believing Skubal will move, the Tigers have shown no sign of deviating from their position that back-to-back American League Cy Young winner will stay in Detroit. Though he's a free agent after 2026 and contract extension discussions have gone nowhere, Skubal is the Tigers' centerpiece player, and Detroit intends to contend again next season. Unless, you would think, there is some type of massive opportunity. This is a time where it's going to define Scott Harris's reign in Detroit. It is. You know it as well as I do. Just like this offseason will probably define Brad Holmes's for the Lions. Enjoyed the conversation with you. Thanks for taking some time. We always appreciate it here on X's and Bros. Just